Welcome to the Outdoor Biz Podcast, your home for inspiring conversations with outdoor insiders. Each week, author, speaker, adventurer, and outdoor industry veteran Rick Saez talks in depth with iconic brand founders, sales and marketing pros, product designers, and industry rising stars. Listen in when Rick's guests offer actionable advice to land your ideal industry gig and grow your outdoor career. Catch us again when the conversation shifts to the hottest outdoor products, destinations, and the latest industry insights. And now, here's Rick.
You know what a coffee nut I am. Today I'm excited to speak with Zach Pecha from Hikers Brew. Zach and I talk about Hikers Brew and how it came to life, and he shares his and Addy's mission to promote sustainability within the outdoor and food packaging industries. Hey Zach, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Rick. I appreciate being here.
Yeah, good to chat with you this morning. So you're in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Were you born and raised there?
Yeah, me and Addy both. So Addy is, my girlfriend of 8 years and long time in business partner through this. And we're both born and raised here in Eau Claire, and we both went to middle school together and high school here, and grew up here. So yeah, great location, and we thought it'd be the perfect place to grow a business.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's pretty cool that you guys grew up together too. That's a good partnership to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we started dating junior year of high school and went to college together and started the business through college, and yeah, so it's a great partnership we have. Where'd
you go to college?
We both went to UW Eau Claire.
Okay.
Here in town, and we have a great business school here, and they have some pretty great environmental sciences classes. So Addy has a minor in environmental sciences, and we both have business majors. So
that's excellent. Yeah. And how were you? I think everybody that grows up in Wisconsin kind of is just born into the outdoors, right? How was that kind of for you? Is that how you were introduced to the outdoors? Just kind of became something that you guys all did?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're surrounded by forests, and it's pretty, it's a pretty hilly state, and there's a good amount of lakes. So lake life is important. Everybody in Wisconsin, no matter where you are, they're all heading up north, for the weekend.
Yeah.
Whether you're in southern Wisconsin, you're heading up to mid-state, or if you're where we are, kind of mid-state, heading up north Wisconsin. We grew up camping a lot of fires. I was in Boy Scouts for a while. Didn't become an Eagle Scout, but I was in Boy Scouts for a while, and so that's how I got outdoors and enjoyed a lot of things like, hunting, fishing, just various different outdoor activities, hiking, camping. So
very cool. Yeah, I haven't been to Eau Claire, but I've been, Madison and a couple of places around. It's beautiful up there. In the fall, you're right. It's just spectacular. You guys are lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Love the leaf changing, and it's just such a beautiful area during fall time.
I don't know if I could get used to the winter stuff though. I'm a Southern California boy, so I'm not sure. It gets pretty dang cold up there in the winter. I was on an ice covered lake one time and just froze my butt off, man.
Yeah. It gets pretty windy out there.
Yeah.
On the lakes in the wintertime, and yeah, it gets pretty cold. Negative 30. I think 2 years ago we were at negative 50, and that was kind of that was probably the coldest it's gotten in a long time. And
wow.
It gets pretty cold. You just stay bundled up inside for a while and drink some coffee or
drink a lot of coffee. Yep.
Yeah. Get a bunch of blankets.
There you go. That's right. Yeah. So where does your inspiration for entrepreneurship come from? Any entrepreneurs in your family?
Yeah. My mom's brother, he's an entrepreneur. He owned a pizza shop for a long time, and just was a manager through, like KFC for a while. And I actually started working at KFC at a very young age because of him. And her father also was a salesman, and sold like glass windows and things like that. And,
oh, wow.
So I kind of grew up with that. So I think seeing that probably sparked some interest in my mind. Mm-hmm. It's only more of a recent realization, I think. But I also, through Boy Scouts, we sold Boy Scout popcorn, and we would get 10% of our sales, and top sellers would get like gift cards to Walmart and different things like that. And for some reason, my parents would push me really hard on that. And it was something that I really enjoyed doing, door-to-door sales like that. And I would sell a good amount of popcorn. I got top seller for 3 years in a row. And,
wow.
a lot of that money just went towards, like, I'm sure, games and toys and things like that when I was super young. But
right.
It was really fun. I had a lot of fun with my friends, and I got to go to, different camps and things because of it too. And it was an enjoyable experience. And I think that translated into later years of just having an idea that I could sell things or kind of control my own
it sounds like
time.
you're a natural at it. Yeah.
Yeah. You kind of get you kind of benefit from it and being able to control your own time. And so I think that's what I wanted to do, is not really have to work for somebody, but I can kind of just work on my own, at my own pace, my own time, and manage my own schedule. So I also worked landscaping for 5 years in a row, and it was kind of, it's a different work, different lifestyle, and definitely pushed me to kind of want to do my own thing. When you're doing tough work like that, you're able to kind of evaluate your life and what you got going.
Right.
So
very cool. And why coffee? What was the passion for coffee?
Yeah, and so coffee, it's not really about coffee. It's more, coffee is the vehicle to kind of support our sustainable mission. So it's really all about sustainability. And so coffee was something that, Addy and I would go on like a vacation to Florida or something, or, going camping, and in the morning, coffee is just kind of like the start of every sort of adventure that we would go on. We would have like a cup of coffee and go and walk the beach in Florida or something like that. And just being able to start the day like that with the smell, it's like this ritual of actually brewing the coffee. And it was more of just like an enjoyable thing on an adventure. So we knew coffee, I think that is the same for many people. And so we knew coffee is kind of the start of everyone's day. And there's a lot of like unsustainable things in the coffee industry, such as like K-cups and the way that it can be grown or shipped, or just any sort of thing in the supply chain. There's a lot of unsustainable things. And we wanted to sort of change that and see if it could be done. And so we knew from the beginning that we were going to go with a sustainable package. We chose coffee because so many people are drinking it, and we wanted to make that change. So
very cool. Good for you. Yeah,
that's coffee.
There's a lot of unsustainable practices in coffee. There's a lot of things to work on and fix. So how was Hikers Brew born? How did it come to life?
Yeah, and so, we kind of had the vision. It was actually, so I had been scrolling through Instagram, I think, in Addy's dorm room, right, in 2016 on campus. And so we were just hanging out, and I was scrolling through, and I follow a lot of like outdoor accounts and things like that. And it was just kind of a realization that came to me of like how many people are still enjoying coffee outdoors.
Yeah.
But I saw a lot of people using, bigger foil bags. So, they're sacrificing the weight, or they're bringing like just instant coffee that, doesn't always taste the greatest with them. And so we wanted to create a product that was going to allow people to have high quality coffee, create a convenience for them, and also be a little less weight for them to carry around. There's a lot of people also using Ziploc bags and things like that too, and the bag just gets tossed away afterwards. So we knew having a package that's like a compostable package like we offer would be better than the Ziploc. It's all pre-measured, pre-ground, so it makes it easier for you to take with you. And so, I think that's kind of our goal there.
Yeah, good idea. What's a day in the life look like at Hikers Brew? What's your typical, you get up and brew, and do you guys you don't have a retail establishment, do you?
We don't have our own shop.
Okay.
But we have our roastery kind of, it's not open to the public. It's kind of behind the scenes. We're actually smack dab in the middle of this old furniture store. And,
oh, cool.
It's now a reseller, kind of like a TJ Maxx or something, where we're just smack dab in the middle there. That's kind of our spot behind the scenes. And we have a small little roastery, and day-to-day is always different, emails, working from home, phone calls, different things. And then when we queue up some orders, we'll go into the roastery, and roast and package and ship everything out. We try to ship everything out within 24 to 48 hours. Everything for us is completely roasted fresh, packaged fresh, and shipped to the customer, mainly because with us using sustainable packaging, compostable packaging, shelf life can't be as long. The material, it just doesn't hold up as well and protect from things like oxygen and stuff as long. So we have a 6 to 8 month shelf life, and so for us, we want to roast everything as fresh as possible and ship it to the customer so that way they can maximize that shelf life.
That makes sense.
And bring it out on an adventure or what have you. Enjoy it longer. So
yeah, that makes sense. And do you have any plans for other products in the future? Maybe tea or something?
Yeah, we have, with doing coffee, we have a really great opportunity to be able to do, cold brew,
right?
Different product lines in coffee, whether it's like tea bag style coffee or just, there's so many different options out there. And so, right now we're really focused on our Venture pouches, which is a 36 gram pre-ground coffee pouch that you can bring with you outdoors. And then we also have our 12 ounce bags. And I think right now we are looking at maybe bringing in different blends or different roasts. We're roasting everything in house, and we've only just started roasting everything ourselves in the last year to year and a half. And so, we're really just trying to learn as much as we possibly can about coffee. And so that's been really fun, of just like trying different origins out and trying to figure out different roasts, because we have 6 main flavors that we kind of have had for the last 5 years. So I think that is what we'll probably focus on, more roasts. We have tested a cold coffee or a cold brew the last 2 summers. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we try to do something like that, maybe more permanently in the future. Just trying to, any product line that we consider, it's always comes down to the decision of sustainability first. That's the most important thing for us. So when we've tested cold brew in the past, we went with glass bottles, like a beer bottle, and, thinking that would be the most sustainable, but we found out that it's only sustainable if you're really reusing the bottles.
Right.
And so you can't really recycle glass that easy. And then we've tossed around, different ideas of like the cartons but it all comes down to, it feels like right now aluminum is still the most sustainable. And so we'll probably offer aluminum cans in the future.
Very cool. How did you land on your mission to promote sustainability within the outdoor and food packaging industries?
I think so. Sustainability is something that it was more of a feeling. Like it was just felt like the right thing to do. I think the industry, the outdoor industry, what we've learned, has been trying to go that way for a long time. And there have been small changes in the past years. And I think the future is bright for that. And I think, it was just really this feeling of it's kind of what's right. And being a small company, we can make changes really fast and we can learn pretty quickly. So, we're not doing everything completely sustainable by any means. That we can make so many more changes and we can learn so much more, but we're trying to do as best as we possibly can. So
yeah, that's awesome. Good for you. Yeah, that's a tough industry too. I work with a guy that does Mount Whitney coffee, and it's pretty challenging to keep a sustainable chain, because there's room for improvement along every step, it seems like.
Absolutely. I think the hardest thing is, importing or the shipments that we get into our facility of, how do we properly recycle, all this plastic, the bubble wrap, whatever these other companies are using, pallets, how can we reuse pallets? How can we recycle pallets? And so there's a lot of that too. And a lot of times we'll save a lot of the bubble wrap that we get and we'll ship it out with some of our other retail orders and just try to reuse it, because it's hard to recycle it and we don't want to just toss it away. So if it gets at least a second life, I think we're trying to do a little bit better, but that's something we want to try to improve on.
Yeah, it's all the other stuff that you get, right? The packages and the some of the other resources that you use, not just the coffee beans. It all comes in somehow. It can be overwhelming, I bet. I love your sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I know we have a ton of burlap coffee bag sacks that we weren't thinking of before we took everything in house, and so that's our next goal of trying to figure out what we can do with that. How we
get those all cleaned up and get some artist to paint on them or something and sell them as artwork.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah, actually. That'd be an interesting idea. Yeah, we're going to take a little break and give some love to our sponsor, Thrive Market. I've been shopping at Thrive Market for a while now and love their soups, snacks, and frozen meals. They have a good variety of organic soups that make lunches on a cold winter day quick and easy. I also stock up on their frozen meals for a quick dinner when I'm off to chase a sunset. Choose a free gift up to $24 in value when you purchase a Thrive Market membership. 1 year and 1 month memberships are available. Go to ricksays.com/Thrive Market and get your membership today. That's ricksays.com/Thrive Market. Now back to the show. I love your ambassador program. How many ambassadors do you have?
So right now, it's always changing. We only have a few, I think 5 or so
That's
ambassadors at this time.
Yeah.
Well, I think the most that we've had at a time is maybe like 20, 25.
Wow.
And it's a lot of, smaller photographers that we're trying to work with. And so our ambassador program is really focused on bringing in small photographers who are looking to build a portfolio. And so, it's people that have maybe like 3,000 to 10,000 followers on Instagram. They're really just trying to get out there and get their photography out there. And so our goal there is to really be partnering with these people so we can get, their photos or their name in front of, bigger brands or just more followers and get their work out there. These are people that are probably working, a part-time job, full-time job, and then getting out there on the weekend, going camping and taking photos. And so our goal, we trade product for photos and, we try to pay for extra content like blog posts or just offer them other discounts, to kind of be a bonus to work with us. But our goal is really to, get them in front of these large companies to hopefully get them paid work.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, help them
introduce them. Yeah, we'll send them, free gear every once in a while. If we partner with a company like JetBoil, send them a stove, try to get more collaborative content there, and then trying to get them to work with that company then later in the future to get paid work.
That's very cool. Good for you.
The exposure.
Yeah,
thanks.
That's awesome. And I see you have a couple of Canadian retailers. What are your plans to expand your retail base, both nationally and internationally, I guess?
Yeah, I think
that's a whole other can of worms, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah, it is for sure. So we sell on a platform. It's called Fair Wholesale. And that has allowed us to sell in a lot of small mom and pop gift shop, sort of some outdoor retailers are on there too. And that's how we've gotten a lot of those Canadian retailers, or we even have a couple in the UK. But that allows us to kind of handle the taxes differently and handle shipping and things where Fair is handling that, and we don't necessarily have to worry about it. It makes it easier for us to ship, internationally. And so the main focus is definitely to grow the brand, locally,
that makes sense,
Midwest and nationally and throughout the U.S. So, but
that's a good way to do it, though. That gets you a little more exposure and a little more revenue. That's smart to do it that way. Yeah, not on your own.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think, if bigger retailers in Canada were interested, I think that's probably how we would approach it. But I've heard from other brands too that will find, exporting grants and things like that with your local state. And you get a decent amount of grants to ship. And that might be the way that we approach getting into Canada more too.
Yeah, and get involved with your local SBA, Small Business Association, if you're not already. Those guys have a ton of resources.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're big here in Eau Claire.
There you go. Yeah, go bet.
Have been very helpful.
Cool.
With a lot of that.
Awesome. And back to the coffee, how do you get your beans? Where do you get your beans? They must ship from somewhere, L.A. or New York, maybe?
So actually Minneapolis. So we're only an hour and a half away from Minneapolis.
That's
we try
good.
to source everything in our business as local as possible.
Very
so
cool. Mm-hmm.
all of our packaging is manufactured and printed only an hour and a half away in Wausau, Wisconsin. And then a lot of stuff comes from Illinois and then Minneapolis. So
that's great.
And so there's an exporter or importer exporter there cafe imports that we source our beans from. And that's where a lot of roasters source their beans if they're not buying direct from farms. And so they work with farms, and we can kind of go on there and see the farms that they're buying from, and the information on, like, the different way that they're growing their beans, and the different types of beans that they're offering, and what those beans are best used for, medium roast, dark roast, or what have you. And so, we have a rep there, and we'll just talk to our rep there and buy beans. And that's kind of how we can start on such a small scale and be able to grow from there. In the future, we would love to buy direct from farms, and but right now our focus is just buying organic and fair trade beans. And
that's awesome.
It's really, really important to us that we buy fair trade. When you're paying a fair wage to these farmers, they can invest a lot more into their farms, and being able to grow shade trees, which in turn is more sustainable for the coffee beans because it's using a lot less water.
No, that all makes sense. Yeah, it's all a big circle. It's funny how a lot of folks don't get that, but and if you get in a pinch, you can just go down there and pick them up yourself, the beans, right? If you have to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, shipping is usually a day, which is awesome. And they have a good amount of inventory, and they're getting new shipments all the time, fresh beans right off of crop. But yeah, we've made the trip there before, borrow a truck and try to get up there and grab the beans ourselves.
Yeah, very cool. That's fun. So let's shift gears a little bit and talk about your outdoor stuff. How often do you get out hiking or paddling?
Yeah. No, so we love hiking. Obviously, Hikers Brew has a name for a reason. We love going on long walks, like going hiking, and we spent a good amount of time in like northern Wisconsin, northern Minnesota, up on the North Shore near the Boundary Waters, actually, where we've done a lot of hiking. Lake Superior is beautiful. There's a lot of really cool hikes right around the lake, and so, yeah, we enjoy hiking. We enjoy kayaking. We don't have kayaks at this time ourselves, but a lot of like the road trips we've been on, we've went on, kayaking tours or have rented kayaks and just went off ourselves. And there's a lot of cool.
You guys have great paddling up there. Holy cow. Beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. A lot of really cool spots in Michigan that we've spent some time too. And yeah, there's so many lakes in this area, and kayaking is kind of a no-brainer, and we hope to get kayaks someday.
Yeah, very cool.
Super fun. And
do you ski in the winter?
We don't ski. We're usually pretty busy in the winter time.
Yeah, I'll bet.
We love hiking even, and we don't get out as much as we should probably, or we would like to.
Yeah.
We don't ski. We do a lot of, Addy likes ice skating. She grew up ice skating, so
cool.
That's fun. Well, we've cross-country skied a couple times. I would like to do snowshoeing a little bit more. We've done a couple snowshoeing treks. So, but wintertime is always our busy season. People are drinking a lot more coffee. And, and it's nice when it's so cold outside, it is nice to be in the
exactly.
Where it's so warm.
We have to go roast coffee. Bummer.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Exactly.
Do you have any suggestions or advice for folks that might want to get into the coffee business? Seems like it's a hot business right now. Yeah,
I think right now the coffee industry in general is taking such a huge hit on bean prices. Prices have really surged, and so it can be kind of tough for a newcomer to get into the industry just because prices are so high to get started. So I think the best thing that you can do would be to just try to work with a local roastery. Everyone's looking for help right now, of course, and are hiring. And so, but if you can work with a local roastery, I think if I would have done things different, I would have went and tried roasting or learning from a roaster at the beginning. Cause I think you're going to maximize, your learning. It's going to be so much faster.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for a year, but we're doing so much other stuff. It's only Addy and I in the company. And so, we're packaging, sales calls, all of that. And so we can only learn in a short period of time. And so
it's pretty technical too, isn't it? I see our guy, he's in there. He's got he just bought a big new roaster, and he's got some electronic setup now, which allows him to maintain the control over it. But it's pretty technical. I didn't realize it was so technical. Makes sense though, after the fact.
Yeah, yeah, and that's just something we get to look forward to because we're using a very small roaster. Everything's
Yeah.
very small batch. It's
Yeah.
only 5 pounds at a time, and so we've got the sheets on iPad where we can kind of see the heat.
Yep,
The heat is really the only thing that we can kind of control right now. But yeah, a lot of those guys, the really big roasters, have gas that they can turn on and off.
That's what he has, yeah.
And speed up roasting time and taking it off at a certain time or slowing down during, like first crack, second crack.
Right. Yeah, I heard all those terms. I don't know what they mean, but I heard all those terms.
Yeah, it's super interesting. Beans are, they're getting hotter over time and they're obviously changing color from green to they're yellowing to getting lighter brown, and then if you're doing a dark roast, it gets pretty black.
Right.
And basically, it's just the cooking process over time, and they're expanding, and they're gas is kind of building up inside the bean, and eventually it's popping. And so your
that's
first
the
crack
crack. Okay.
Yeah, so it's just letting gas go, and the second crack is later on towards the dark roast, and it's just letting more gas go. Gas go, and it sounds like popcorn popping. It's really interesting.
Very cool. Yeah, sounds fun.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite books or books you give as gifts? Any business books that inspired you along the way?
I read I saw this question. I read a decent amount of books through business school and things. A lot of like summaries and things. I think for a book, I really enjoyed Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's obviously like a really common one.
Good one.
That's a good book. I think that had some impact on the way that I think about things. But otherwise, I feel like I don't have enough time to read books as I should. We're moving around a lot. We're roasting and things like that. So I listen to a ton of podcasts.
Do you have what are some favorites?
Yeah, no, I love your podcast.
Thank you.
I love hearing all these other entrepreneurs in the industry, and I think that's the biggest thing for me is I listen to stories of entrepreneurs, and that's how it kind of like gives me ideas to grow the business or different things that people had success with. I love How I Built This.
That's a good one. Yeah.
NPR.
Yeah. There's some good ones out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. How about your favorite outdoor gear purchase under $100? What's your little gadget you have all the time? Maybe not a gadget at $100, but
yeah, right. No, I think. I know. I was looking at this. We have a really great relationship with Jetboil, and we love their stills, but they're just barely over $100.
No, that works. That's good.
Well, yeah, and then there's so much brewing gear too that came out into the industry. Whether it's like GSI or Stanley has a lot of really cool equipment lately, and so we just have a ton of fun testing out different brewing gear from these various outdoor brands and going on a backpack or a camping trip and testing out a piece of gear. Or I would say my favorite though is the AeroPress when it comes to coffee brewing in the outdoors. I use the AeroPress every single morning. It just makes cleanup super easy, and if you're using the paper filter, it's super minimal. You're barely using any paper, or there's plenty of reusable methods out there too.
That's cool. Yeah, I still use one of those little brown gold bottomed drip things when I travel.
Sure.
Pretty simple. You just drop it in there and make one cup, and away you go. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, no, I love a good pour over method too.
Yeah, I've looked at those AeroPress. I need to try that out. I need to get one and test it out. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, they're fun, and they have the new AeroPress Go. It's
I saw that.
Smaller,
yeah, I saw
made
that
for camping.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Very cool. Yeah, we'll have to link to that one in the show notes too. And you have a special offer for our listeners. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we are giving $5 off for your order until the end of the year, so 12/31. The code is biz5 at hikersbrewcoffee.com. And yeah.
Cool. Well, there you go, guys. Go to hikersbrewcoffee.com and use the code biz5 and check out some of their coffee. I've had some. You gave me some when we were at the Big Gear Show. It's really good. I appreciate that gift. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the comment.
Yeah. And is there anything else you'd like to say or ask of our audience before we wrap up?
I think just it would be we'd appreciate if you just consider picking up a pouch at your local retailer. Help support the local shops. We're in maybe 200 stores nationwide. I think we're in every state at least. You can also order online from Hikers Brew. Use that code. or if you're working in the industry, you can find us on Expert Voice and the Outdoor Pro link.
Oh, cool. Perfect. And we'll link to that stuff in the show notes too. And if people want to follow up with you and ask questions about coffee, brewing and whatnot, how's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, well, so it is only Addy and I in the industry. You can or in the business, so you can totally just DM us on Instagram at Hikers Brew. Fill out a contact form at hikersbrewcoffee.com. It goes right to us, or connect with me directly on LinkedIn.
Oh, cool.
Zach Pecha.
Perfect. Cool. We'll link that in the show notes too. Well, Zach, it's been good talking to you. Thanks for coming on this morning.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Rick. I really appreciate it, and yeah, it's been great chat.
Yeah, we'll see you at a show sometime.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Outdoor Biz Podcast. Be sure to visit our website, theoutdoorbizpodcast.com, where you'll find show notes with links to everything we talked about and more. Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts so you'll never miss an episode. And while you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes. Or spread the word and tell a friend about the show. That would really help us out too. Be sure to tune in every week. And thanks again for listening to the Outdoor Biz Podcast with Rick Saez.